Let me tell you, the day I realized the scariest guy in the room might just be a quiet human with too much time on his hands, I was standing right there watching Marcus Kane, sitting calm as a summer pond, while everyone else, yeah, even the four-eyed war veterans, was losing it a little. You ever look at somebody and just know something wild's about to go down? That was the vibe. The training room at the Galactic Academy, full of cadets, some with crystal heads, some with feathers, a couple with more mandibles than manners. Everybody's on edge, sidearms getting checked, and here's this human, stretching his fingers like he's about to play a little piano, not build a weapon out of, well, junk. All right, students, Commander Vex 90 said, scanning the room with all four eyes, and his voice was as flat as the tabletop. Today you'll see advanced weapon crafting, under pressure. The aliens started clicking and rustling, but Marcus just looked bored. 10 minutes, a pile of classroom furniture, that's it. Everyone's thinking, come on, what's the worst he could do? Even Yix, he's a Zeon, kind of a know-it-all, pipes up, what kind of weapon can you even make from desks and chairs? Commander just shrugs, tells Marcus to get started. Now, let me back up a sec. See, humans have this reputation. Nobody can decide if it's a compliment or a warning, that when they start taking things apart, you want to either call for backup or take notes. Marcus moves slow, calm, one lap around the room, fingers tracing desk edges, tapping joints, testing how much the furniture can take. He finally grabs an instructor's desk, thicker, heavier than the others, and just snaps a leg clean off. With his hands, the sound, like a starter pistol. Some tentacled cadet squeals, and you can feel the temperature drop. Doubt he's not done. Takes a second desk leg, studies the brackets, pops them out like he's done it 1,000 times. And when the countdown clock hits 7 minutes, he's already got a plan working behind those unreadable eyes. Marcus moves to a student chair, doesn't break it, just picks it apart like a puzzle, finds all the hidden release points, digs out this little network of metal strips buried in the cushion. He murmurs, brilliant. And even Commander Vex, who's seen more action than most planetary militias, starts leaning in. I swear. The rest of us just watched in this kind of quiet horror as he peeled away layers from the desk legs. Turns out the core's this composite material, light but strong, the kind of thing you hope doesn't end up as a weapon in the wrong hands. Marcus starts shaping a bow. You heard me, a bow. The second desk leg? Arrows. Real, pointy. I hope there's a medic on standby. Arrows. And he does it like he's making a sandwich. There's this great moment where Yix, the Zeon cadet, says, impossible. And Marcus just looks up, deadpan. Wanna bet? You could hear heart stop. If I make a functional bow, you cover my officer's club tab for a month. If I fail, I do your analysis reports. Yix gets all twitchy, but agrees. 3 minutes left. Marcus is weaving a bowstring out of the metal strips, his hands moving faster now, more precise, engineering students scribbling notes. He adjusts the stave, makes sure the curve's right, tests everything. At 2 minutes, he's improvising fletching with torn fabric, sharpens arrowheads with the brackets. Nothing fancy, just lethal. When the timer hits 0, he stands up, holding a bow and arrows that honestly look like something out of a survivalist fever dream. And Commander Vex just calls, time. The silence? You could bottle it. Target? Marcus asks, casual as if he's ordering coffee. Commander points to a training dummy across the room. Marcus draws, releases. The arrow slams dead center, straight through the dummy and into the wall. Next shot, a bit left, third shot, splits the difference. I think that covers it, he says, lowering the bow. And every alien in the room looks like they just saw their midterms go up in flames. Yix, for once, is speechless. Marcus just shrugs. Basic physics, material science, and a childhood in rural Montana. And then the stories start pouring out. Building bows, field dressing deer, navigating by starlight, grandpa's old school lessons, and of course, never bet against a human with improvised weapons. Class breaks up, but the whole academy is buzzing. The next thing you know, words spread to the officers. Marcus gets called into a panel room, lights blazing down on that makeshift bow. Admiral Torx Prime, faced like stone, wants to know how fast Marcus could teach that trick to others. 15 minutes for theory, an hour for practice, a weekend for real skill, Marcus says, and you should have seen the faces on those brass. Then, twist, emergency alert, hostile boarding, pirates. The officers want Marcus to get to safety, but he just picks up his bow and toolkit, says, "With respect, sir, I'm a human. That's different." And he's gone before anyone can blink. What followed? Let's just say it wasn't in any training manual. Marcus moves through the chaos, takes out 3 pirates with arrows before they know what hit him, gets a prisoner to spill the whole pirate plan, then finds security pinned down and just starts rewiring the environmentals, creating artificial wind to mess with the pirates' weapons while his arrows fly true. The security guys, who were ready to write him off as a lunatic, now move with him, and within 20 minutes, pirates are out, officers are safe, and the admiral's looking at Marcus like he's seen the future, and it's weirdly wearing denim and a smirk. Later, Marcus faces the brass again. They want to know how he did what a whole security force couldn't. He just says, "Sir, I'm trained to survive, not just follow protocols. You identify the problem, use what's at hand, solve it, no matter what." And for humans, he says, that was just a routine pirate raid. The officers swap worried looks, already rewriting every policy manual in their heads. Admiral Torx Prime finally tells Marcus, "You're going to officer training, and you'll develop new human protocols for the defense forces." Marcus just nods, says he'll do it, but notes, most humans would consider today pretty routine. We usually have better equipment. And here's your ending. Marcus, walking out with his bow, grinning to himself, knowing the whole galaxy just got a wake-up call. The Admiral is left alone, drafting a message that'll change the future of interstellar war and peace, probably upend a few empires, and maybe, just maybe, make people think twice before betting against a human with time to kill. So, what do you think? Was Marcus right to break every rule in the book, or should the Academy have stuck to protocol? Is survival about rules, or about knowing how to bend them? Drop your thoughts below, because this story isn't over. It's just getting started. You know, I used to think the hardest part about making waves was just surviving the initial splash. Turns out, it's what comes after that'll keep you up at night. Word about the human with the bow spread faster than a bar fight rumor on payday. And by the next morning, I couldn't walk down a corridor without getting side-eyed by at least 3 species who'd suddenly decided to brush up on human history. Some cadets treated me like I was carrying a grenade in my back pocket. Others wanted selfies, because, apparently, that's universal. Go figure, they scheduled me for officer orientation so fast my head spun. Admiral Torx Prime himself led the briefing, flanked by 2 aides who looked like they'd rather be locked in a cryo cell than deal with a human right then. The room felt colder, more formal, as if the air was somehow thicker with expectations and unspoken fear. The bow I'd built sat in a Plex display case at the front of the room, now labeled Evidence, Human Improvisation, Case Number 01. Every time I caught someone staring at it, I couldn't tell if they were admiring the craftsmanship or just terrified by what it represented. First thing Torx said was, "From this moment, everything you do sets precedent." Which, you know, is the kind of thing that'll make you wish you'd skipped breakfast. They wanted me to design a new cross-species training protocol, practical problem solving under adverse conditions, they called it. But what they really meant was, teach us how to think like you. Or at least, how not to get blindsided by you. I said yes, partly because I figured I owed them, partly because I was curious what would happen if I started turning aliens into MacGyvers. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. I wasn't the only human at the Academy for long. 3 days into the new protocol project, I walk into the training bay, and there she is, Samira Holt, ex-Earth Defense. Reputation for solving hostage crises with nothing but a roll of tape and a broken coffee pot. I recognized her grin from about a mile away. "Marcus Kane," she said, "didn't take you for a rule breaker, but I'm not shocked." We laughed the way people do when they know they're about to be in deep together. The Academy decided to pair us as co-instructors. Our first exercise, take a mixed species group and see if we could teach them how to improvise their way out of a hostile alien ambush scenario with zero prep and a pile of maintenance scraps. Samira had her own style, less Montana woods, more urban jungle. She started teaching the cadets how to strip power conduits, hack door locks with dental floss, build a radio jammer out of a busted tablet and two forks. Every species had its learning curve. Some wanted blueprints, some wanted theory, some just wanted to watch and learn. But the biggest surprise? Yix, my old Xian skeptic, turned out to be a natural. After a rocky start, he jury-rigged a tripwire system that caught even Samira off guard. That's when I realized, maybe the whole point wasn't just about humans being clever under pressure. It was about what happens when everyone starts thinking that way. Suddenly, cadets from rival species were pulling all-nighters together, trading stories about childhood games, homeworld disasters, times they'd outsmarted teachers, or dodged patrols. The atmosphere changed, like a current shifting underground. Instead of suspicion, there was this weird, contagious excitement. But nothing stays easy for long, right? At the edge of all this progress, rumors started to swirl. Whispers that the pirate raid wasn't just a fluke, that someone in the academy, maybe high up, had coordinated with the mercenaries for reasons nobody wanted to say out loud. The faculty held closed-door meetings, security sweeps doubled, and suddenly I found myself getting called in for routine debriefs every other day. One night, as I'm leaving the training center, a senior officer, Colonel Verbeta, pulls me aside, her voice low and her tentacles all knotted up in anxiety. "Cadet Kane," she says, "tell me honestly, how much more can humans hide if we aren't looking close enough?" I thought about all the times I'd slipped under the radar back home, all the things we learned not to say, all the little tricks you never write down. "Honestly, Colonel," I said, "probably more than you want to know." I'll never forget the look she gave me, half respect, half dread. The real kicker? Next morning, I wake up to find my room tossed, my data pad missing, and a note taped to the inside of my locker. "Some lessons are better left unlearned." Samira and I reported it, of course, but the investigation went nowhere. Instead, they put us both on round-the-clock watch, assigned an android chaperone, and told us to avoid unnecessary improvisation. Yeah, that worked out about as well as you'd think. It wasn't until graduation day, weeks later, when the truth finally crawled out. Turns out, the inside operative was no alien at all, but a human administrator who'd gotten cold feet about letting primitive Earth tactics into the galactic playbook. They'd orchestrated the pirate attack to scare command into limiting human integration. The reveal shook the whole academy to its core. Lines got drawn, trust got shattered, and nobody looked at humans the same way again. So there you have it. Maybe the galaxy's most dangerous weapon isn't what we can build with our hands, but the ideas we plant in other people's heads, the seeds of possibility or paranoia, depending on who's telling the story. What would you have done? Should humans be trusted with teaching the next generation? Or are we just too unpredictable for our own good? Hit me in the comments, because out here, survival is just the beginning, and the real test is what you do with your second chance.